This will be my third year in Moms and More, and I've been doing it because Susan Pearson called me one day and asked me if I would be in Moms and More.
I've been participating in Moms and More for a little over 3 years. When I first signed up, I was expecting our second child, and I was about to be a stay-at-home mom for the first time. And up until that point, I had been working and in school and just going at a really fast pace for the previous few years. So I was a little nervous about the new role of being a stay-at-home mom.
I have been participating in Women's Bible Study for about 2 years now, and I basically decided to get involved because I graduated from Union, and I realized really quickly that next semester that I didn't really know anyone at Fellowship that wasn't a college student, so I just thought that getting involved in women's ministry would help that.
Well, we've been members at Fellowship ever since the beginning of the church, and I've always tried to get involved with anything that they were having for the women, whether it just be activities or retreats or Bible studies.
It's really fun. I mean, when you get here, you drop your kids off in the Learning Center. Miss Brenda does a great job of making sure that all the kids are acclimated and comfortable, and my 3-year-old Isaac loves it. And then there's coffee and food and a social time, and then we watch a video and then do small groups. The time just flies by, and it's always fun. I always leave feeling motivated.
I would covet to have had this when I was raising my children, to have the different materials and curriculums that Susan's bringing for us, and to have a support system and to have a church that backs this. I would have just coveted that because it was not available to me when I was raising my children.
It provides encouragement every single week, and I just feel like that Women's Bible Study in particular is really good because you know that everyone sitting at your table understands the crazy emotions that you're feeling, where it wouldn't be that way everywhere.
I don't feel like I've ever been to a study or a discussion group where someone didn't say something that helped me or encouraged me. And sometimes it's just in a casual conversation that we might be having before or after the study. But it's always been very beneficial to me.
Relationally, Moms and More has had a huge impact on me. I have a great network of friends now, and if I trace those all the way back to the beginning of those friendships, most of them started at Moms and More. Just meeting other moms who are kind of in the same season of life as I am, and it's just a real strong community for me of other moms and friends.
There are so many benefits that I see in the ladies that I work with and the young gals that are in my group. One of them is just their deepening relationship with God. And if they didn't get any more than that, I think that would be enough. But I think there's so much more.
I think once you actually start to study God's Word and get into His Word, He gives you that hunger for more. And you don't want to just stop where you are. You want to get more into His Word and find out more what He has to show you and what He has for you personally. And it does become very personal.
Since I started Moms and More, I feel like I have grown so much just in my understanding of my role as a mom and as a wife, and just what that means and how important it is.
And the women in my group are a good example for me because I just finished my first year of marriage, and being in Women's Bible Study during that first year was great just because I can see and hear about godly marriages and what that looks like as I'm beginning my own.
I see the mothers that are in my group trying to be different in a world that doesn't have Christ as the center. And I think you need support in that. I think you need somebody to be there for you. And I have seen this intermission going on with the ladies in my different groups that I've had, and they really are a support system for one another.
You can't afford not to do it. It's going to bless you in more ways than you can even imagine.
I think I've probably said more than once to people that even if you just walked in and you looked around the room and then you left, it would be worth it, because for me, a huge part of Moms and More is just knowing that there's a group of women who are doing the same thing as I am day in and day out, and that there's value to it and that it's important. It's just so motivating and so encouraging to me.
I think a good reason to be in women's Bible study is just because I just feel like we're called to do life together, and women's ministry is a great way to do that, because you receive biblical encouragement every week, and also in the process you're able to make disciples of all nations and just to fulfill God's purpose for your life.
I have new friends that I have never thought in my life that I would have, and we all have a common goal, and we all have Christ as our center.